The new bender is made completely out of S7 tool steel. It comes with standard MP5 HK53 bending mandrel, and then you have an optional G3 mandrel, or you can just buy the G3 version with a G3 mandrel and then later add the MP5 if you so choose. It's all one monolithic design. It doesn't have any side A or side B. It's all one operation for bending. And as we'll show you, there's several different design enhancements that create a much smoother bending process and more consistent results. One of the design features that we've incorporated is the relief for the case deflector flange on both the HK53 and G3 receiver flats. In the past, some of the solutions did not have that in there, and you ended up having to manually grind it away to make that relief. We've actually incorporated that into there. And also that the main thing is that you do not have to no longer do an A and a B side where you actually have to flip it over once you get to a certain point in the bending process. It's all one smooth, continuous operation. All right, so one of the things that we saw that we needed to make design enhancements to was the spacing of these pins that guide your receiver flat. So on some of these, there's variations where these actual guide holes are placed. And what it ends up causing is it ends up causing a bind as you place the receiver down onto the flat before you start bending. Now, as you start bending, that bind up will actually cause it to misform the actual receiver bend. So what we did to eliminate that problem is we made adjustable guide pins. And they slide back and forth. They have over 12 millimeter travel. It actually has a set screw here that you actually move in and out with a T40 bit to allow it to adjust to the right non-binding position. So for instance, with this flat, we'll place in our pins. We'll put on our flat. And as you can tell, zero binding. And I can actually fine tune that and get it exactly centered. So now it's guiding right, not binding, and then you'll have a smooth and perfect bend. From there, what you're gonna do is you'll take your mandrel, you'll place it over the pins, right down here, and then press along this surface here. So it folds up around the mandrel in a perfect one operation. So now we're going to show you the bending operation on a G3 flat. What you want to do is you want to make sure that you use some lithium grease to coat both the base, the mandrel, and the flat. All right, so what we want to do is start off by lubing up the bender, installing our guide pins for the G3. You want to make sure that your case deflector is sitting into this notch. So we go ahead and install it onto the pins, and we've already adjusted the pins so they're the proper width apart and there's no binding. From there, you take your G3 mandrel and install it onto the pins. All right, now you're set. And then just move forward slowly with consistent pressure. And you'll start to see the receiver bending. All right. Everything's lining up good. So let's go ahead and back it up and take it off. All right, so now we're going to remove it. All right, remove the mandrel from the bent receiver. Everything looks nice and even and lined. So we're going to take it and show you in the next step with the receiver alignment mandrel, which is going to help set our bolt carrier rail gap and then also bring everything together nice and square. All right.